Fort Knox? Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is doing great out there and keeping busy and staying safe and social distancing and quarantining and all those things that we've been instructed to do. You know, it's kind of crazy because I have been in the entertainment business, as I told you guys, for 20 years now, and there are a lot of assumptions out there about me. There are a lot of things that people assume instead of just asking me, or they write things instead of just asking me, you know. But I asked you guys what you assumed, and boy did you answer, because I've got a whole notebook here of things that you guys assume about me. And so I'm gonna answer those assumptions right now because I'd rather you hear it straight from the horse's mouth. But really quick, if you have not already, subscribe, click the like button, share this video with your friends. It's just something fun to do while we are all, you know, held up here in captivity. But just, you know, something just fun that I'm gonna do. Make sure that you click the notification bell so that you are contacted every time I have a new video up, which is very often these days. So, since I got nothing but time, you got nothing but time, let's get started with these questions. The first one says, I assume that you spend most of your free time studying Beyonce's stage mannerisms. Nothing could be farther from the truth. When I first started out, yes, that was true. I used to spend a lot of time watching Beyonce videos. I told you guys before that I used to watch every DVD, every video, every, you know, interview, just studying her mannerisms, how she was on stage, mostly on stage. And that was a very big part of like my studying and becoming a Beyonce impersonator. However, I do not study Beyonce's mannerisms anymore. It's not something that I have to consciously think about when I am on stage. It just kind of happens. It's like it just clicks, it turns on. As soon as I go backstage, it completely shuts off. And I don't really listen to a lot of Beyonce music simply because I'm always listening to it when I'm in rehearsal or performing. So I'm not really listening to it when I am at home. I'm listening to lots of other things, but so it's not like my whole life is not consumed by Beyonce. You know, I impersonate her, that's my job. But just like probably your job, you don't take it home with you a lot, or you know, if you're a hairstylist, when you get home, you do not want to do hair, you know, or if you're, you know, a doctor, when you get home, you don't want to talk about, you know, you don't want your friends calling you up and being like, oh, you know, about talking to you about medicine and, well, girl, I got this rash back here, or whatever. No, that's not what we do. And I'm just the same way. You know, I'm not, obviously if she has something new out, I'm listening to it, or if an interview comes on, I'm definitely like watching it, but I'm not like studying her mannerisms anymore. That was more like in the beginning. 20 years later, no. The next one says, I assume that you are very sweet and humble. I don't think that's a question for me. It's probably something you would ask my friends, or if you know me, maybe that's a compliment. I appreciate it. I mean, I try to be still the same. You know, I'm the soul of who I am is pretty much the same. My life changes all the time. It goes in so many different directions, and you know, the career part of my life, it goes up and up and up because we work so hard. So I try to remain as nice and sweet to people and humble as I possibly can be, because that's how I got where I am. So I don't know, I guess you have to ask someone who really knows me, or if you ever met me in person, that would be something that I guess you could assess. The next assumption is, I thought you were, this is from my girlfriend Hope, my sister Hope, my sis. She says, I thought you were stuck up and standoffish, but lies. Yeah, you know, I get that a lot. Like, a lot of people think that I am stuck up and standoffish and not, you know, like whatever, and then they meet me, and I've had so many people say, like, I thought you were, you know, really like completely a bitch, and then like I met you and you were like so nice, and I'm like, well, when did you find out that I wasn't? They're like, when you said hello, and I'm like, really? I don't know why people, I think, you know what I think it is, and I had this conversation with a friend of mine the other day. I think people don't think that you can be, if you're in the public eye and you are, talented or smart, or people think of you as beautiful or whatever those things are, they think like you cannot possibly, if you got all of that and you're talented, you cannot possibly be a nice person also. Like something's got to be lacking. Like you cannot have it all. I'm not saying I have it all. I'm just saying that there are a lot of people that think that, with all of that, she's got to be like a bitch. People ask me all the time about people who are in the public eye that I'm friends with. They're like, well, what's she really like? Is she really nice? And I'm like, yeah, she's really sweet and really nice, The next assumption says, I feel like you will do something really big like a recreation of something when all of this is done. Like a recreation of something Beyonce has done is basically what they mean. You know what? When this quarantine is over, absolutely. I cannot wait to get back on the stage. I cannot wait to really just wow you guys again. That's what I was born to do. It's what I love to do. It's my job. It's my career. It's my livelihood. And I just, the thing is I've done a lot of things. I've done a lot of recreations. I've done the pregnancy, as you guys saw in my last video that I talked about. But, there are a lot of things that I'd like to do. There's still a lot more that I haven't done, and possibly, you guys just gotta stay tuned and see what, is coming next. I'm not gonna tell you. Of course, you just have to wait and see. The next assumption is hilarious to me. It says, I assume that you have several gentlemen callers who enjoy providing you a diamond and luxury life. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No. Come on. Like I do not have a lot of gentlemen callers who are providing me with a diamond luxury life, or that are like, funding this life of mine, career, whatever. Absolutely not. And the truth of it is, I've never had that. I've never had a sugar daddy. I've never had, even when I was a kid, I never thought that I'd grow up and be the kind of woman that needed a guy to carry me or live off of my guy. No, everything that I have, everything that I am, everything that I've done, I did all myself. I bought it all myself. It all came from shaking my behind on a stage. That's how this life happened. So it's just kind of funny to me that I guess, funny thing is I've had somebody else say to me like, oh, well, those costumes are expensive, and like, oh, like doing all that stuff on stage, like all the things that you do at the level you do, like it's expensive. So I know you've got some like sugar daddies, some guys that are providing you. No, absolutely not. And I also don't do my job for free. So clearly, I make money from performing. So that money goes back into my career. It's just crazy to me that people think that, a successful woman only comes about because some guy provided that lifestyle. That did not happen for me. Probably would have been nice. I don't knock those who did, by the way. But that's not my life. I assume that you love to work out. That assumption is correct and incorrect. I like having a great body, and I know that a part of my job is to look a certain way, and so I have to work out to maintain that because your girl loves to eat. And even though I eat healthy, I like to eat a lot, Just because you eat healthy, if you're eating a ton, if you're consuming a ton of calories, it's just, it just is what it is. Like, but working out is hard, and it hurts. It's painful, I will say I do love working out in the sense that it's more than just about the way I look. It's also about like my mind and it's therapy for me also. Even though that pain, that physical pain, but it's just like working out has taught me so much more than just, it's taught me more than just working out and looking good. It's taught me dedication. It's taught me perseverance. It's taught me, patience. It's so much endurance. It's a lot. Stamina. I could go on and on and on. But yes, I love working out because I like looking good. Yes, it's also kind of painful sometimes. So sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. And sometimes it's a struggle getting into the gym. and just getting there. I find that if I wake up, instead of putting on regular clothes, I put on workout clothes and just do what I need to do before, then at least I will make it to the gym at some point, like if I'm already dressed. But if I'm like all dressed up and like, if I take those clothes off, I'm probably gonna put on a robe and not the workout clothes. The next one says, I assume you have a lot of men chasing you daily, but you don't entertain them. That's another thing that I think a lot of people assume, and I've heard a lot of people say, like, you must have tons of guys in your DMs. I don't. I told you guys already that I'm single. I do not have tons of guys knocking down my door. I do not have tons of guys like trying to get at me and whatever. I'm still single. They're the only guys that are in my DMs are gay guys that are fans and love what I do and that are very complimentary and very sweet, very nice, and some of them are hot. Trust me. But there are not a lot of guys trying to that are chasing after me. And if they did, I might entertain them. It just depends on the guy. I don't know. If you're interested, DM me. No, I'm kidding. The next assumption says, I assume you talk to the ATL airport guy. It's kind of an inside joke. This is from my manager, guys. I seem to always meet guys in the airport. And this particular time, I was on my way to perform in the ATL, and this guy was really hot. Oh, he was so hot. And I kept telling my managers at the time, I'm like, oh my God, like, that guy's so hot, he's so hot. And they're like, you should talk to him. I'm like, no. And he walks by and he looks at me, and I looked at him, and then we got on the same flight, and then we got off, and we got on the flight, and I looked at him as we got on the flight, and then he looked at me, our eyes like met, and then I went back to my seat. Like, I went to my seat, which was behind his, and he got off before me, and I was like, okay, well, that was it. I guess I'm never gonna see him again. If I see him again, it's meant to be, and then maybe I'll go up and talk to him. Like, I have no problem going up and talking to guys. And, they don't always have to approach me first, because you never know. And so, went to baggage claim, and there he was, right there. So I went up and was like, hi, how you doing? How was your flight? Did you have a good time? Like, what, do you live here in Atlanta, whatever? And it turned into like a great kind of friendship week. But the problem with meeting guys in airports, and I look cute when I travel, I try to, like, I'm never in even if I'm in sweats, they're cute matching sweats and whatever, it's accessorized. But the problem is you meet guys on flights, even though he was flying from DC, he lived in Atlanta. And it's like, crap, you meet guys that live in other places. They're flying either somewhere, or they're coming, and you meet people from all around the country. So then it would end up being a long distance relationship and not just, whatever. So yeah, that's the story with that assumption. The next assumption says, come party with me, which is not an assumption, but if you guys know me, anybody that could tell you, I don't party. Like, I don't go to clubs, I don't whatever. But I'm telling you, after this quarantine is over, I don't know, guys. I probably will absolutely be like, yeah. You seen that meme that's like, invite me to everything, I promise I'm coming? That's me, yeah. I'm invite me. I will probably come party with you. So that might change now that we're in this new world that we're in. The next assumption says, I thought you were a stuck-up diva, but then I got to know you. And that goes back to what I was saying, before. Yeah, that's a common misconception about me, but I'm not a stuck-up diva. I promise you, I'm not. If you ever see me out in public, come up and say hi. People are always like, I didn't want to bother you. I didn't know how you were going to react, and I didn't want to get embarrassed if you were, mean or whatever. I'm not going to be mean to you, I promise. Just come up and say hi. Just be nice. Don't be rude. If you're rude, then, that reaction will be reciprocated. Maybe. I don't know. People are rude to me all the time. I'm actually still nice to them. The next assumption says, I would love to see you on a stage with Beyonce one day. You and me both, honey. I'm going to tell you, I probably will wet my pants. But if it ever happens, and stranger things have happened because I've been on a stage with Taylor Swift, so, it could happen. And if it does, you guys will get all the details afterwards. I will vlog it the hell out of it. The next assumption says, I assume that you are really an introvert with excellent stage presence and powerful people skills. I am. That is an absolute correct assumption. Everyone's asking, like, how are you holding up during this, like, quarantine? I'm just like, this is like my normal. Like, I quarantine myself I social distance all the time. I live to be, like, held up in my penthouse and, like, not, and not around people. Although, I will tell you, I think it's sort of one of those things, because I can't do it or because somebody told me you can't, now I really want to. But yeah, I am kind of introverted, but then, you know, when I'm out in public, I can be social. And, you know, when people approach me, I can be personable and fun and whatever. The next one says, this is kind of funny, I assume you are a 36C in bra size. I don't know who wrote this, but damn, you have some really good, like you're really good at that, because that's exactly what I am. I'm the average bra size, which is 36C. I'm a 36C. Sometimes they look bigger, sometimes they don't, like, you know. I know, but it's a 36C. I don't know how you guessed that. The next assumption says that I assume you reserve respect for others until proven otherwise. That is true. That goes back to what I said. Like, you treat people how you want to be treated. I do. I respect everyone, and, you know, until they, you know, prove themselves to be someone who's not worthy of that respect, I'm very respectful up until that point. There is another side of me that you guys will never see. It hasn't come out in a very long time, but don't test me. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, that's the truth, really. I'm a Taurus. You have to really, like, poke at us for a long time, and then once you, like, that layers and layers and layers, and that we explode, and it's like the Tasmanian devil. It's bad, but it's been a long time since anyone's got me to that point. I just don't let people push me that far, and I'm not really around a lot of people who do that to me. And I don't, you know, my circle is small, and it's just not a pleasant way to live. You know, I'm a Taurus, and Tauruses tend to love drama, but I like watching other people's drama, which is why I like watching reality shows. I don't want drama in my life. The next assumption says, I assume you are quick and attentive. You're a quick and attentive decision maker. Nothing could be truer. Like, I am very, like, don't lead with emotions. I am very, when something is happening, I'm like, okay, what do we got to do to fix it? Like, how are we gonna, you know, whatever. And then I'll think about how I feel about it later. I am very quick to, like, I'm very decisive, and I know what I want and what I don't want. I'm never like, oh, I'm not really sure. And it's not very often that I ask somebody, well, what do you think? Should I do this? No. And when there's a crisis, I'm the best person you could want around you in a crisis, because I'm like, okay, let's do this, let's do that. We'll worry about how you feel about it later. How are we gonna fix this? What are we gonna do? And I think that comes from just being in show business, that you gotta be quick and you gotta decide, like, no, I don't want the stage like that. Or no, I do want this like that, and how are we gonna fix this? We got like 5 hours until showtime. How are we gonna be able to build this? How are we gonna, you know, I think that's what that comes from. The last assumption says, and it's probably one of my favorites, it's from one of my biggest fans, and I guess she's my friend now, Brianna. It says, I assume that during this quarantine you are working on some new projects. Yup, absolutely. And I'm building my YouTube channel, as you guys can see right now. I'm working on other things that I have, ideas that I have. I've had a lot of time to think up some amazing stuff, and I cannot wait to give you guys, like, new everything. And there were some things that were in the works before the quarantine that will still be happening afterwards. You just gotta stay tuned. Of course, I'm not gonna tell you just yet, but there's a lot going on. I've always got something up my sleeve, always. And I cannot wait till that time comes and all that. We're ready to go back into, well, we're ready to go into our new normal. But until then, I'm gonna keep you guys entertained as much as I can through my YouTube channel. So make sure that you subscribe. Make sure you like this video again, and, you know, I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I love you. Bye.